Anytime I move my finger, lucky me, can't you see? I'm in love. Life's a beautiful thing. As long as I hold the string, I'd be a silly so-and-so if I should ever let you go. I've got the word on the string, sitting on the rainbow. Got the string around my finger. What a word, what a life, mama, I'm in love. Oh, what a word, what a life, baby, I'm in love. Is it? You're lucky me, can't you see? Mama, I'm in love. Life's a beautiful thing. As long as I hold the string, I'd be a silly so-and-so if I should ever let you go.
Do you want? Flash was 132 before. Oh really? Step back up. 16 times. The light has changed a bit. But it feels like I'm going to reckon it's going to change again. Oh, you finished?
kids. It's for Gabby.
See friends shaking and singing, how do you do? They really say, I love you. I hear babies cry and I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than we'll know, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
make me be true, could make me be blue, or even be glad just to be sad, thinking of you. As I've seen, might never be mean, might never be cross or try to be boss, but they wouldn't do for nobody else. Gave me a thrill with all your faults. I love you still. It had to be you, wonderful. It had to be you. Some others I've seen might never be me, might never be cross, try to be boss, they wouldn't do for nobody else. Gave me a thrill with all your faults. I love you still, baby. It had to be you, wonderful you. Had to be you.
I could feel at the time there was no way of knowing. Falling leaves in the night, who can say where they're blowing? As free as the wind, and hopefully learning why the sea of time has no way of turning. much more than this. You tell me one thing more than this. There is nothing
Good afternoon, everyone. Please join me in thanking the University organist, Annette Gerg. Welcome, Kaya. My name is Professor Kara McNish, and I'm the chair of the Academic Board, the peak academic body of the university. And I'm here to tell you a little about today's graduation ceremony, its history, the people involved, and how today's events will proceed. Before proceedings commence, could I please request that your mobile phone is turned down or off, and advise that should an emergency occur, then we'll take our lead from the venue staff. On behalf of all my university colleagues, I'm delighted to welcome you all to this afternoon's graduation ceremony. To begin, I'd like to acknowledge that our ceremony today takes place on Whadjuk Budja, the country of the Noongar people, and pay my respects to Noongar elders past, present and emerging as custodians of the historic place on which we meet. We are fortunate today to have Barry Maguire with us to welcome us to country as part of today's ceremony. Today's graduation ceremony is also a traditional celebration of the university. UWA takes great pride in its history, having enrolled our first students over 100 years ago. However, our roots are deeply embedded in the academic values and traditions that for many centuries have given rise to the world's finest universities. The traditional nature of our graduation ceremony serves to highlight this enduring connection with our heritage. As has been the case in universities across the globe throughout the centuries, the ceremony will begin with the arrival of the academic procession. This procession comprises graduating scholars, academics and office bearers of the university, attired in their formal academic regalia. UWA is very much an international institution, and our academic staff come from universities from a wide variety of countries and cultures. So in this afternoon's procession, you'll see a varied and often colourful array of regalia from around the world. The procession will be led by graduating students, followed by academic staff in order of seniority. At the end of the procession will come the principal officers of the university, members of the university's governing body, the Senate, and our distinguished guests. The final figure in the procession will be the Chancellor of the university, the Honourable Robert French AC, who is immediately preceded by the mace bearer. The mace will be carried by a current student and is a symbolic representation of the authority vested in the Chancellor, who is the chair of the Senate. After the national anthem, the Chancellor will formally welcome all graduates and guests and guide us through the ceremony. And during the ceremony, there will be a short musical interlude performed by students of the UWA Conservatorium of Music. You will, I believe, find much to interest you during this afternoon's proceedings, but of course the main reason you have come is to witness the graduation of our scholars. And I hope you will all join with my colleagues and me in warmly congratulating each scholar who comes onto this stage to have his or her degree conferred. And while it is an historic setting, it is also a celebration, and I invite you to express your enthusiasm wholeheartedly as our graduates are awarded their degrees. And between you and I, a little hollering and hooting is fine as well. There will be a professional video and photographs of the ceremony and professional photographers waiting downstairs, but please do feel free to stand where you are to capture your own images of the moment. Now, would you please all rise so that the arrival of the academic procession can commence? Thank you.
Please be seated, ladies and gentlemen. Members of the University Senate, distinguished guests, graduands, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to welcome you to our second winter graduation ceremony. I particularly want to acknowledge the presence at the ceremony of Mr Mario D'Orazio, who will deliver the graduation address, Mr Ty Gerard, who will deliver the valedictory address, the Warden of Convocation, Dr Doug McGee, members of the Senate, and the former Chancellor's medal recipient, Mrs Annette Girk. In accordance with the tradition of the University, I will now invite Mr Barry Maguire, a representative of the Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation, to welcome us to country.
Good afternoon. May I start by thanking Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, members of the Senate, graduates, families, mums and dads, brothers and sisters. It is an honour to stand here to bring forth an understanding of a welcome to country, an understanding of something that is so old that we can't put time on it. It's a form of human engagement. It's a form of balance between us as nations that has always existed here on this continent, and today it exists inside of gatherings such as this. For us to bring something of old into something of new, to help create a way forward as nations. You see, if a man came from little town Mandurah, or Northam, or Mora, he would sit off in the distance and he would make a little fire to let my people here know that he has come to share in something of old. They would monitor him for 24 hours to see whether it was good or not, to bring him into the fold of their family, their old people, and their land. After the 24 hours, then the welcome to country would start, and it would continue for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Today we bring a small portion of that, a small portion of an old ceremony that can help us as Australians become stronger in tomorrow than we have been yesterday. Why? Because it's about being together. It's about sharing in what we do, in creating our books of tomorrow. And congratulations to the families for creating the books of tomorrow. Like my father said, my son, you are one of my books of yesterday. So remember, graduates, who you have come from, where you are going, and why you are creating a pathway for a better tomorrow. Because we must. We must create smiles that can exist amongst many nations. It is beautiful to see many nations sitting together as one today. And may the energies of my grandmothers and my grandfathers who have gone come to be with you, like it has been with me. Later on as you travel home to your place of rest and to your family's place. And for as long as you walk on this land, that energy that has been held by us as Aboriginal people, may that exist with you too, to create that pathway that it has done for us for thousands of years. So welcome to the Whadjuk lands. If you look up at the roof, you'll see the markings of my people. And you think about the foundations, it's the energy of my people. And then the structure around it, are the many nations that stood here to create this building, for the many books that have walked through here in the graduations over years and years past, and many more for the future. May I share in this song. May I share in this song for you, from us as the ancient people of this land. And may this exist with us as Australians and create a togetherness better tomorrow than yesterday. Wanare gamalana, wanare gamalana, boyogoda waningo, boyogoda waningo, wanare gamalana, boyogoda waningo, wanare gamalana, wanare gamalana, boyogoda waningo, boyogoda waningo, wanare gamalana, boyogoda waningo. That song is of Kings Park. It's our stronghold here within the Perth region. May that energy through that song and the language that I have shared with you, may that energy of old come and help you to create your pathway. May you be blessed in every way, and may you find many smiles in the world that you walk. Congratulations on today, graduates, and all the best for tomorrow's walk in life. Welcome.
Thank you, Barry, for reminding us again of the deep history that lies across this land. Today we share in a ceremony which is deeply rooted in the history and tradition of universities in this country and around the world. It marks the formal recognition by the university of the achievements of its graduates in meeting the standards and requirements of the various courses of study and research which they have undertaken at this place over a number of years. The ceremony joins them with members of the academic staff who have taught them or supervised their work, and with representatives of the convocation of the university, which is part of the university and which, as graduates, they join. The ceremony also brings the graduates together with parents, friends and other relatives who have supported them in their work and share intimately in their achievements. This university has a long history of achievement and excellence in teaching and research and engagement with the wider community for the benefit of the state, the nation, and indeed the global community of which we are all part. It was established, in the words of the University Act of 1911, to advance the prosperity and welfare of the people. It was the product of the vision and energy and commitment of extraordinary individuals who founded it and who were its benefactors. Its achievements are not the achievements of an institution, they are the achievements of people, those who teach and research here, those who govern and administer the university, and the alumni who go from this place to make their contributions in a myriad of different ways. It is not just a degree with which you leave this place. It's a degree from the University of Western Australia, which is one of Australia's leading universities and, according to international rankings, one of the world's leading universities. Today you receive a gift presented to you by graduates of the university, much more than a handcrafted piece of art. It is a Noongar message stick designed especially for you and carrying with it the story of this special place by the river. Message sticks have long carried the stories of Aboriginal people across vast expanses of land and between diverse groups. The bearer of a message stick could cross tribal boundaries. They were traditional passports from one nation to another in Indigenous Australia. They are seen as carrying the stories of Indigenous people across the land. Today we entrust the story of this place to you, to carry it into the world. The gift symbolises a lifelong connection spelled out fittingly in the universal and timeless language of the Noongar people. For all of you, I express the hope that the knowledge and skills you have acquired at this university will enable you to follow the lifelong path reflected in its motto, to seek wisdom and to apply it for the good of all. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now my pleasure to invite the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Dawn Freshwater, to give a brief opening address to today's graduates and their guests.
Chancellor, graduates, parents, partners and friends of the university, congratulations. It is my privilege to congratulate you on behalf of the University of Western Australia. Today's ceremony is an opportunity for us to formally recognise and celebrate your outstanding achievement in graduating from UWA. Graduation is a culmination of many years of hard work, and I hope that you'll remember your time as a UWA student with great fondness, but also a sense of accomplishment. You have mastered subject matter, concepts and techniques, and acquired skills that equip you for lifelong learning. You should feel confident that you're well prepared to take your place in a highly competitive working environment. We all know that we currently find ourselves experiencing an accelerated pace of disruption, turbulence and global uncertainty, with much conjecture about what our future, especially around the emerging workforce, will look like. Globalisation has brought many opportunities and provided us with some areas for critical debate and intelligent dialogue. This is why graduates' knowledge and its application to societal issues has never been more important. As technology changes the way we work and live, the skills and qualifications needed are also advancing. Some commentators suggest that our graduates of the future are likely to have up to 5 careers and 17 jobs. You graduates will not only enjoy new employment opportunities, but will be involved in creating them. We hope that your UWA degree will empower and equip you with knowledge and the power of critical thinking to succeed in a career of your choosing, possibly a career yet to be created. Have confidence that you are prepared to offer innovative solutions, to question, and to be open to new ideas and possibilities. This is an exciting time for you, a time to rise to the challenge of what comes next. Each of you has the capacity to make a difference to society. During your time here, I hope that you also found the time to become involved in the many facets of campus life: clubs, societies, overseas exchange programs, work-integrated learning and community internships. Graduating as you are at an exciting time within the Faculty of Arts, Business, Law and Education, which is expanding its range of courses and majors. This year, they include a new Spanish Studies major and 2 new music majors. 2 new graduate certificates have also been added in fieldwork practice and public policy, and from next year, a Master of Legal Practice. In April, UWA's Centre for Social Impact launched the State of Homelessness in Australia's Cities report, providing new evidence on the costs and community impact of homelessness. The following day, the Western Australian Strategy to End Homelessness was launched, followed by an inspiring music event through the streets of Perth, led by the UWA Conservatorium of Music. This event involved hundreds of WA musicians and choirs, including many UWA staff and students. It was a powerful demonstration of how universities can bring together a community and, importantly, provide a voice for important issues. As graduates, you've been prepared to use that voice in the community and in your chosen fields to make a difference. You should feel a great sense of pride at how your persistence and resilience has paid off as you sit here with your fellow graduates to celebrate and to look to the future with ambition and purpose. We're delighted that you chose to study here, and although it's time for you to move on, you will always be part of the UWA community. What makes us special and unique is that when the university was established, our founders placed a great importance on building that community of graduates. Convocation exists to ensure that all graduates have a lifelong connection to the university. Graduates, your hard work and perseverance has led you to this point, and wherever your journey takes you from here, you should feel proud. Enjoy this moment. Congratulations to you all. It is now my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, Mr. Mario D'Orazio. Mario graduated from UWA with a Bachelor of Arts and began his career as a teacher before moving into the media, where he's worked across print, radio and television. Managing Director of Channel 7 Perth since 2011, he is a board member of the Channel 7 Telethon Trust and the West Australian Academy of Performing Arts, a director of the Australian Institute of Management Western Australia and of WA Opera. Please welcome Mario D'Orazio.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here today. I'd like to acknowledge the dignitaries here today, the Chancellor, the Honourable Robert French AC, the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Dawn Freshwater, members of the Senate, members of the Executive, and what a wonderful gathering to make new friends and to reunite old friends. Today I've been reunited with a couple of old friends, and before I go into my spiel, I'd like to acknowledge Pedro Santa Fe, who is here today, and his wonderful wife, Marty Che. Marty Che's worked here for 8 years, and she addressed the dignitaries here today. I haven't seen Pedro for a very long time. The last time we saw each other, we were young men on assignment in southern Italy to cover one of the world's biggest stories, the massive earthquake that had killed many thousands and left 100,000 homeless. And Pedro and I had to tiptoe our way around Naples and many other places to report the story. It was a devastating experience for a couple of young men. I just remember a night, Pedro, I know you say you don't, but we ended up in a hotel in Via Veneto, both of us feeling a bit down in the dumps. He was missing his wife, Marty Che. She was pregnant with their first child. So I bought a bottle of Grand Marnier and we drank a whole lot, I tell you. He says he can't remember, but neither can I. It was wonderful, so it's great to catch up with old friends. I'd like to support Barry's wonderful acknowledgement and welcome to country for the Noongar Nation. I'd like to add to that an acknowledgement of the Wongai people. The Wongai people are the traditional owners of the land known as the Eastern Goldfields around Mount Margaret and Laverton. My first job as a graduate from the University of Western Australia was teaching Wongai children in a small mining town in those goldfields. Laverton back then was called the Married Men's Quarters of the Windara Nickel Mine, and I was a teacher at the high school. I turned up in 1977 after what was called the Skull Creek incident. Near Laverton it was. There'd been a royal commission into police mistreatment of the local Aboriginal population, and although matters had calmed down, there was still a bit of tension in the air. Now back then there was no internet, so I was completely oblivious to those simmering tensions. So picture this, searing hot desert, crumbling gravel roads with lots of potholes, parched earth, red dust everywhere, big trucks rolling down those roads, and a nice Italian boy in a convertible MGB wearing a Pierre Cardin suit. I can't say I was the perfect cultural fit, but the Wongai kids played a huge role in my development as a person and professionally. And the Wongai people have played an enormous role in the growth of mining in Western Australia. And if you're in business, and you're business graduates, most of you, if you're in business in Australia, you cannot avoid mining, whether you're in professional services, the digital economy, AI, marketing or whatever. Not much happens in Australia without major ties to mining, and our mining industry would look very different today if it had not been for the Wongai people. It was the Wongai people who showed Paddy Hannon their precious rocks in Kalgoorlie. It was the Wongai people who sparked the biggest gold mining industry in the world. And the Wongais also have a unique and crucial role to play in the University of Western Australia. The first Aboriginal woman to graduate from UWA was a Wongai woman, Gloria Brennan. Though I didn't know her, interestingly, she was at this university at the same time I was. Things were very different back then, I can tell you. While I was hanging out at the new pub called the Bent Elbow, Gloria was actually doing something useful. She was studying anthropology and blazing a trail for her people. There's a scholarship in her name at this university today, and I often think there might well have been a scholarship in my name if I hadn't spent so much time at the pub. I finished my bachelor's degree here in 1975, and those of you with a bit of grey hair, you'll know that 1975 was a seminal year in Australia. In November 1975, the Governor-General, John Kerr, sacked Prime Minister Gough Whitlam. November 11, Armistice Day, right in the middle of exams. Can you imagine the uproar on campus? A Labor Prime Minister who ended our part in the Vietnam War, against which students all over the world had protested, and a Labor Prime Minister who introduced free university educations, no fee at all for kids, sacked by the Queen's man. The students were incandescent. If ever the chemistry professors needed proof of spontaneous combustion, we provided it. Protests erupted all over campus. Some bright spark suggested we all march down Mounts Bay Road into the city. But that would mean some of us would have to skip the exams. You go, economics exam, protest march. I can't say it was a difficult decision to make, and it might explain why I only got a B in economic history. Thousands of us took to the streets back then, led by the University of Western Australia's most famous sons, a law graduate named Bob Hawke. At the time, he was the president of the Australian Council of Trade Unions. He became Prime Minister 8 years later. And Chancellor, he was ahead of your time, but I'm pretty sure that Bob Hawke was quite unforgettable in law school. As an unforgettable bloke, he was also very famous for drinking beer faster than anybody else in the world at the time. And those of us at the Bent Elbow, we were inspired by Bob. We were full of admiration. Today, I like to think that we were marching for the right reasons, but it might have had something to do with the beer too. Even though I became a teacher when I left the university experience was propelling me toward journalism to find a platform to tell the truth. And along the way, I've sampled a few different careers, much of it as a journalist in all forms of the media. I'm now privileged to be running one of the most enduring media brands in Australia, Channel 7 Perth, a company with a sincere commitment to making a better society through telethon. It sounds cheesy, but raising money for medical research that'll save the lives of children is an amazing thing to do. The good news is that much of that money finds its way here to the University of Western Australia and their outstanding science and health researchers, and I'm very proud of that. So today I can say I've had a rich and varied career, and it's a journey which was ignited here on this ground at the University of Western Australia. For a kid who couldn't speak English until I started school at 6 years old, the University of Western Australia has been an extraordinary equaliser of opportunity. A fabulous education in history, politics and economics has paved the way for a fulfilling and stimulating career, except when I got sued 5 times by the one bloke. That was a bit too stimulating. But it did become fulfilling when we won all 5 cases. As I'm entering my 40th year in my wonderful industry, I can tell you it's facing an existential challenge. The digital revolution is transforming the way we do business and run our lives, and most of it is for the better. But there's a price which we could pay if we're not careful, a cost I believe we do not yet fully grasp, and that is the price of independent scrutiny of our leaders. The business model is changing rapidly in the world of media, and while there's some scepticism about the motivations of the legacy conglomerates, the cynicism needs to be tempered in defence of that independent scrutiny of public institutions, both government and business. If we're to function as a democracy, if voters and shareholders alike are to make sound decisions based on accurate information, we need a viable media industry. We could dedicate an entire thesis to this subject, but let me say the potential for abuse is immense and one that we need to consider carefully as we give our attention to Google and Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook and so on. But let's move on from my reflections into the here and now in your lives. As you write your own story on the canvas of your own career, can I urge you to keep 4 things at the front of your mind? Firstly, in all that you do, make sure you serve the public good. Borrowing the philosophy from our friends at med school, first, do no harm. By all means, make pots of money, climb the corporate ladder, strive for the top of the tree, but do it in ways that makes life better for all, not in ways that divide. Your career and your business will flourish if you are doing things that are good. Secondly, be happy to admit you're wrong. Be confident in taking a step sideways or even backwards. You've studied these things in your courses, but let me tell you, it's exactly like that in the real world. A setback is only an opportunity to learn and grow. Thirdly, speak truth to power. Don't be afraid to be a voice of dissent. We need brave and courageous thinkers. People who say, yeah, but I don't agree with that. Speak your mind. And finally, invest in yourselves. Be good to yourself. Keep learning, keep challenging yourselves. Pursue your passions in work and in life. Get some sleep. Eat your vegetables. Spend less time at the pub than I did. Congratulations and good luck.
Thank you, Mario. Much food for thought there.
That was it? Okay. I think you'll agree that Mr D'Orazio's address is a fitting introduction to the primary purpose of this ceremony, which is, of course, to confer upon our graduates degrees and certificates of the university in recognition of their academic achievements. My name is Professor Phil Hancock, Associate Dean of Learning and Teaching in the Faculty of Arts, Business, Law and Education. And it is indeed my pleasure today to present the graduates to the Chancellor for conferral of the degree of Bachelor of this university. Chancellor, for the degree of Bachelor of Arts with a major in Work and Employment Relations, Rhiannon Claire Bartels. Kasumi Jun Wei Fu. For the degree of Bachelor of Commerce with a major in Human Resource Management, Jamila Aweda. Amelia Ruby Dakra. Kate Marie Ellis. James Alexander Holmsen. Xiaowei Jia. Kyra Beth Lidlow. Catherine Patricia Morgan. Rachel Louise Palmer. Michelle Cinta Pryor. Shannon Ann Robb. Kate Louise Smith. Melissa Yao Shan Liu. For the degree of Bachelor of Commerce with a major in Management, Benjamin Chia Yi Heng. Nathan Christopher Graham. Alexandra Jane Howard. James Anthony Kavanagh. Swee Keat Cock. Matthew John Cress. Brian Terencio Leon. Zachary Shun Xiang Lo. Kevin Tan Yuan Han. Georgia Constance Vecchio. Alexander Ji Hung Zhong. The degree of Bachelor of Commerce with a major in Marketing, Naomi Sarah Albin. Christy Laurie Anderson. Patricia Chi Shin Aung. Tina Thelonious Timmy Brown. Morgan Kate Buller. Matthew Callum Burke. Matthew Nicholas Calvetti. Leona Yong Lee Chadwick. Chuk Hai Chan. Yu Chen. Kai Chun Chua. Henry Vincent Crisp. Hannah Beth Ellsbury. Nicholas Michael Ferguson. Chiang Gao. Wayne Ignatius Kamulia. Ryan William Hayward. Mitchell James Ho. Hayden William Judd. Sarada Kitian Sub. Anushka Lakwara. Ka Wai Kerry Lee. Yiming Lee. Brianna Kate Liddington. Lo Ching Wei Tiana. Kaya Eugenie Malaburn. Benjamin Philip Marotta. Kumbarai Andre Maccabee Gutsa. Oscar Thaddeus Parker Macaulay. Isabel Brianna Michaelides. Rachel Mok Jia Hui. Pei Ru Eng. Kate Rose Pennell. Heshnawi Puna Sullivan. Han Shi. Sue Carmen. Kelvin Yi Ming Tan. Chen Jai Tan. Brendan Lee Taylor. Zoe Anissa Sigalis. Dai Wang. Jia Chi Wang. Chok Fen Wong. Nicholas Anthony Wright. Chi Ching Wu. Jackson Young. Roger Yor Ro Jie. Xiao Cheng Ye. Rachel Ye Kai Ming. And for the degree of Bachelor of Science with a major in Engineering Science, Edward Vincent Simpson.
Graduates would stand. On behalf of the University, I confer the degree of Bachelor upon the graduates presented to me by the Associate Dean, Learning and Teaching of the Faculty of Arts, Business, Law and Education.
It's my pleasure to present graduates to the Chancellor for conferral of the award of Graduate Certificate and Graduate Diploma of this University. Chancellor, for the Graduate Certificate in Business, Katie Rebecca Hilnes. For the Graduate Certificate in Commerce, Carl Peter Hodgson Thomas. For the Graduate Certificate in Entrepreneurship and Innovation, Lisa Michelle Kneebone. For the Graduate Certificate in Finance, Sharon Margaret Cranny. For the Graduate Certificate in Human Resources and Employment Relations, Laura Jane Burns. Christopher William Nunn. For the Graduate Diploma in Commerce, Rosie Aloka Burke. And for the Graduate Diploma in Information and Logistics Management, Andri Tatsi.
On behalf of the University, I confer the award of Graduate Certificate and Graduate Diploma upon the graduates presented to me by the Associate Dean, Learning and Teaching of the Faculty of Arts, Business, Law and Education. It's now my pleasure to introduce a brief musical interlude by the UWA Clarinet Duo, who will be performing Poulenc's Sonata.
It is now my pleasure to present graduates to the Chancellor for conferral of the degree of Master of this University. Chancellor, for the degree of Executive Master of Business Administration, Alan James Cowie. For the degree of Master of Applied Finance, Chung Guan. Pai Wan Huang. Yu Yang Huang. Matthew Michael Lowe Kelly. Don Kong Lee. Jiashu Li. Chang Liu. Yi Sheng Liu. Suthan Mali Gavanam. Timothy Lawrence O'Hara. Lewis David Leaf Piper. Here. Daniel David Rogers. Ella Kate Sorgiovanni. Fang Da Wei. Yufan Wu. Yu Wu. Lei Xin. Ao Yang. Chen Yi Yang. Yap Jinfu Arobin. Mei Kuan Zhang. Hao Yu Zhang. Man Lin Zhao. For the degree of Master of Applied Finance with distinction, Tai Alan Gerard. Shannon Ka-chun Lee. Hao Chen Zhang. For the degree of Master of Business Administration, Basha Zasa Al-Nasser. Rodrigo Bacchettini. Preeti Mathur Castle. Max Noel Clark. Johannes Hendrik Conradi. Thomas Gerard Kulikin. Nathan John Jones. Marco Kruger. Peter Vin Hoing Lam. Brian Michael Marinich. Marie Ann Pasalacqua. Angelo Ro Ponce Ugolini. Zoe Alexandra Quigley. Evelyn Lorraine Quinn. Natasha Barker Rogers. Melita Gale Ryan. Anish Vajisi Thomas. For the degree of Master of Business Administration with distinction, George Robert Gattenby. Joel David Walker. Travis Ryan Windsor. For the degree of Master of Business Information and Logistics Management, Sanket Santosh Mishra. Navneet Kaur. Gaurav Sinj. Hyo Shin Zhang. For the degree of Master of Business Information and Logistics Management with Distinction, Lauren Elizabeth Witherow. For the degree of Master of Commerce, Melissa Naomi Anderson. Joel Thomas Beasley. Turka Fatih Chalibi. Sufyan Daichi. Chloe Ann Christine D'Antoni. Wei Hang Feng. Marinella Genie. Chia Ju Ling. Jiwai Liu. Jonathan Harry Morgan. Bradley Raymond Pillage. Ingrid Elise Pirik. Shin Yin Chu. Carolina Rosario Gomez. Joshua Angelo Santiago. Li Shen. Ni Jun Sim. Patrick Samartua Siman Juntak. Darshika Siran Kandadas. Ru Sun. Wayudi Sianto. Bennett Lee Ben Teo. Phuong Lan Tran. Sydney Dizaika Urbani. Hayini Wong. Shu Hang Wu. Ching Shi. Jing Hao Yang. Xiao Meng Yang. Yuan Min Yang. Shin Bi Ye. Min Ki Zhang. For the degree of Master of Commerce with distinction, Ines Adisono Putri. Hai Peng Jin. Georgia Catherine Markwell. Ryan John O'Sullivan. Michaela Stocko. Sil Rees Svensson. For the degree of Master of Economics, Rampati Duaj Slinini Sumada Kumari. For the degree of Master of Human Resources and Employment Relation, Jiawan Chen. Eve Noreen Laidlaw. Sukriti Landbar. Danning Lee. Teo Lee. Bonda Priandono. Mei Li Hong Wooten. Sheng Cheng Zhao. For the degree of Master of Marketing, Nicole Elizabeth Bolton. Mengru Chen. Shin Tong Dai. Cameron Michael Flint. And Mol Gupta. Christasia Jayadi. Jing Ting Men. Joshua Austin Mobbs. Amanda Sensani Rad Kumara. Lumeng Zhu Sun. Fatima Reda R. Ujami. Dandan Yu. Xin Rui Zhao. For the degree of Master of Marketing with distinction, Michael Liam Somerville. Jasmine Wolstanholm. For the degree of Master of Professional Accounting, Janice Aurelia. Xin Zhao Kai. Rachel Katambay Kale. Anna Chernyshiva. Donna Upika Jaisakara Kulasina. Milandeep Kaur. Shu Ri Liu. Jing Wen Lu. Cheng Liu. Raul Saini. Paul Matthew Salpietro. Yan Yan Tang. Jia Yue Wu. Yue Wu. Xia Ui Shu. Mo Yang. Wen Yao. Jinwei Zhang. Nan Ling Zhang. Kesheng Zhao. For the degree of Master of Professional Accounting with distinction, Emily Jane Fitzgerald. Lu Yan. Shi Ling Tan. And for the degree of Master of Professional Accounting Advanced, Mei Zhang Feng.
On behalf of the University, I confer the degree of Master upon the graduates presented to me by the Associate Dean, Learning and Teaching of the Faculty of Arts, Business, Law and Education.
My name is Professor Kate Wright, Dean of the Graduate Research School. It's my pleasure today to present graduates to the Chancellor for conferral of the degree of Doctor of this university. Chancellor, to qualify for the award of a doctoral degree of this university, a graduate is required over not less than 3 years to complete training at an advanced level and to pursue research leading to a thesis that makes a substantial and original contribution to knowledge. The thesis is examined by at least 2 distinguished scholars of international standing, and the examination process subjects the thesis to criticism and evaluation at the highest level and ensures that a recipient of the degree has demonstrated the ability to carry out successful research which satisfies rigorous standards. Chancellor, I now present to you graduates who have completed theses that have fulfilled the requirements for the award of the degree of Doctor of this university. Chancellor, for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, for a thesis entitled Transfer of Training, a mediation model of the effects of transformational leadership, I present to you Salwa Abdul Patah. For the thesis entitled The Epidemiology and Significance of Non-Alcoholic Fatty Liver Disease in Adolescents, I present to you Oyekoyo Taiwo Ayonorinde. For the thesis entitled Individual Work Performance, Dimensionality and Consequences, I present to you Joseph Alexander Carpini. For the thesis entitled Multiple Volatility Real Option Approach to Investment Under Uncertainty, I present to you Atul Chandra. For the thesis entitled An Examination of Risk Parameter as a Measurement of Risk Attitude in Discrete Choice Modelling, I present to you Huang Ying. For the thesis entitled Exploring Worker Consciousness in China, I present to you Ellie Leung. For the thesis entitled Cross-Country Food Consumption Patterns, Theory and Measurement, I present to you Hai Yan Liu. And for the thesis entitled Success and Failure in a Petrostate, Economic Policy and Performance in Kuwait Since the Gulf War, I present to you Manal Riyad Mahmoud Shihabi.
On behalf of the University, I confer the degree of Doctor upon the graduates presented to me by the Dean of the Graduate Research School. I also now confer on behalf of the University in absentia respective awards upon those graduates who were unable to be present at this ceremony and whose names are printed in the program. I will now invite the Warden of Convocation, Dr. Doug McGee, to welcome today's new graduates.
Fellow graduates, as the Warden of Convocation of the University, I congratulate you on your graduation. As graduates, you join the diverse and incredibly talented alumni of this university. Because of UWA's unique structure and supporting legislation, you also automatically join Convocation, the representative body of the graduates, as lifelong members. Members of Convocation have the right and privilege to share in and contribute to the intellectual and cultural life of the university, and to stand for election to the Council of Convocation and for the 2 places on Senate elected by the members of Convocation. As a member of Convocation, you join over 160,000 graduates who have successfully completed their studies at UWA over the past 100 years. The friendships you have developed as a student at UWA are fostered within Convocation to support valued lifelong networks. Convocation members range from young to older, and all are welcomed, valued and supported. As a graduate, you may identify opportunities to contribute to the experience of students who follow you, just as many of you will have received support as you studied for your degree. As time passes after graduation, you'll enjoy seeing and hearing of the success of your fellow graduates. And today, we've heard Mario's story, which demonstrates changes of place and career over time, and I think excitement throughout. Convocation is proud to be able to promote the wonderful achievements of our members and looks forward to telling your story. I welcome you as a new member and encourage you to continue the relationship with the university which began when you chose to study here and continues as a member of Convocation. Congratulations and best wishes.
Thanks, Dr. McGee. Today, we're primarily celebrating the achievements of our students, and it's appropriate, therefore, that a student voice should be heard to mark this significant occasion. I'm pleased to invite Mr. Ty Gerard, who graduated today with a Master of Applied Finance with distinction, to give the valedictory address on behalf of the graduates.
Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, members of Senate, distinguished guests, members of staff, graduates and their guests. I am humbled to represent the graduating class of 2018 as valedictorian. For many of you I've studied with over the past 2 years, today begins your transition into working life. The end of this journey signals the start of another. Hopefully, one with lower caffeine levels, 2 a.m. exits from campus, and 11:59 p.m. submission times. As much as I have enjoyed my time on campus, this, my 8th year of full-time study, encompassing an undergrad honours and 2 master's degrees, I am now ready to focus solely on my career, with a HECS debt approaching the GDP of a small nation. The last 6 years, I've juggled both full-time work and university study, spanning Australia, China and Myanmar. Often reliant on many of you sitting here today to ensure that I keep up to speed on coursework and impending assignment deadlines. For that, I thank you. I would not be here without your support. I've spent the last few weeks reflecting on my university experience, as well as engaging with many of you on your personal journeys. I would consider my UWA experience enriched through 2 themes: resilience and enablement. both, in my opinion, capturing the determination it takes to successfully navigate years of academia and has allowed each of us to achieve, now and into the future. Resilience is the strength we require to keep going, even when it may feel as if the odds are stacked against us. When I first joined the mining sector in 2012, a fresh-faced graduate, I was just in time to catch the end of the mining boom, and I'm sure many of you were likewise impacted. When I joined the oil and gas sector 2 years later, my fortuitous streak continued, and I watched helplessly as the oil price fell by 50% in my first few months. And so I stand here today, a graduate of a Master's in Finance, third time the charm, and I apologise in advance for any impending financial crisis my graduation sets off. In the face of adversity, resilience is what we must have. In our professional careers, we will face many challenges. Having survived the rigorous requirements of our respective UWA programs puts us in good stead for the road ahead. The power of enablement has never been as clear as where we sit today. The piece of paper we've received is simply that, a piece of paper. However, what this paper represents, the knowledge we've unlocked in our respective fields, the individual roads each of us have travelled, the friends, partners, and mentors we've established along the way, is how this esteemed institution has acted as a facilitator for each of our individual needs. From today, the next steps become our accountability. It is on us to ensure we capitalise upon the foundations built in these halls to reach our potential, owing it not only to ourselves, but to those who got us here. To the academic staff, professors and tutors, on behalf of the graduating class, thank you. The countless hours spent teaching, reteaching, and replying to emails after hours when I still didn't quite get it right is above and beyond what is expected of you. But most importantly, to the parents, partners, and significant others, many of whom join us here today. None of us would be here without your support, and your care, and your belief. The celebration of success for the graduating class here today belongs to you as much as it belongs to us. In closing, I would offer this. Not an inspirational quote from Churchill, Tony Robbins, or Martin Luther King. Simply the words of a 25-year-old with potentially too many degrees. We, collectively, have made it this far. Wouldn't it be a great injustice if we didn't see how much further we could go? Thank you.
Thank you, Ty. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your participation in today's proceeding, which has made it a memorable occasion for all the graduates. I'd particularly like to express our appreciation to Mr. Mario D'Orazio for giving the graduation address and Mr. Ty Gerard for the valedictory address which you've just heard. Both of them have enriched these proceedings with their perspectives. To all the new graduates, I offer warm congratulations. As UWA graduates, your achievements will enhance the reputation of the university. We hope that you will keep in touch with us over the coming years to let us know what you are doing and that you will retain a lifelong connection as a part of the university community. The ceremony is now concluded and I invite you to join us on Whitfield Court for light refreshments. Members of the audience are asked to rise and remain standing in their place until the procession, including the new graduates, has left the hall.